And welcome to the day one, game one wild card reaction show. You're joined with me, Nick. We also have Brendan here as well to be with you to discuss all of today's games with you and give you an idea of where everybody's at for right now. So I want to welcome Brendan in. Brendan, how we doing today or tonight?
Well, Nick, some of the predictions looking a little hairy so
Yeah.
far. It's a 3-game series, but my big game that I looked at today was Texas and Tampa. Nobody, if you saw St. Pete today, that place was empty, and that's what
It
happens.
was ghost town.
That's what
That's
happens when you
pathetic. That is
live by the
absolutely pathetic.
analytics. Oh
Imagine
yeah,
having a playoff game and not having anybody show up. It's sick. It's just sick.
this is
But
the same.
hey,
Nick, Nick, this is
that's just what we got right now. And having a
this is
pretty
the
decent team.
yeah. And they're the same team that hung a banner for making the wild card like 3 years ago. This is their World Series. Nobody's there. So the last thing I want to do is turn into that way of building a team, Tampa Bay. Not my style. Tomorrow the probables are Evaldi and Eflin. It's going to be a real duel. It's going to be exciting.
I'm going
I,
Evaldi. I'm
I
going
think Texas
Evaldi. I
might
think we all said
Texas
here.
might end it.
I think we said from last night that we said the Rays would probably come out of this because of a game one possible dominance from Tyler Glasnow. And that never happened. That never happened. I am changing my vote of confidence here. I am going to go with the Rangers. I think Big Game Nate's going to show up tomorrow for the Rangers. I do. But I also want to mention that Jordan Montgomery, there's a guy that I would put on my list right now of being a Red Sox for next season. I don't know about you. That was a hell of a performance today.
Nick, he was one of those arms that was available, and he
And the
went
Yankees
off
had him.
today. Yeah, and it just really is another punch in the face. If you're a Sox fan,
I've been
he
punched
comes
too
in.
much.
Yeah, it never ends. That Texas has these injuries with Scherzer and Jordan Montgomery comes in and shows out for Texas. It's a huge statement game one.
The other game
I
that
don't
we
know if I
had,
switched my prediction yet,
yep,
but
the other I'm changing mine. I'm going Rangers tomorrow. I'm going with Big Game Nate. So
okay.
I think the Rangers are going to take this series. It's all done tomorrow for them. That's the 3:08 game tomorrow as well. The same times are also consistent for these next, if it's potentially 3 games, it'll be the same times. Unless there's a
Okay.
complete sweep across the board from everything. But tomorrow we'll play the 3:08 game for the Rangers and the Rays. The next game up was the Blue Jays and the Twins. And we had down that Kevin Gausman was going to have a great start, and the Twins would
Yeah.
continue their 18 consecutive years of not winning in the playoffs. Well, we have some news
The
for you.
narrative's changing.
Lopez was very great for the Twins, and the Twins were able to prevail and get the W today. And the Blue Jays are a game away from being eliminated. Tomorrow, it could be all
Yeah.
over for them. What did you think from this one?
See, I was talking about it yesterday. The starting rotation is fearsome in Minnesota. It's legit. And once again, showing out. I'm not done with Toronto yet. That's a team that I think they're not done yet. It's tough right now. You're in a whole 0-1, but 1-game series. This is pretty much it for them.
I want to actually blast the Blue Jays tonight. I do. And the reason I want to put them on the chopping block right now is because they are the 21st century's biggest choke artist fraud team that I have witnessed from watching from afar as a fan. They are always a team that has the star power, that has some players that we think are going to go the distance and go the whole way, and they just don't. Ever since Joe Carter back in 92 and 93 from the Blue Jays, it is just not pretty with what product has been out there for the playoffs, at least for the Blue Jays. I think I want to change my vote again. I think I want to be a turncoat.
Okay.
I think I want to also say that, again, home field advantage can be a big thing sometimes, but it didn't really matter for the Rays and everything from today. But I think it does matter within the Twins. That was a very loud stadium today, excitement filled. I was watching that and I'm like, I was eating my dinner. I'm like, what is going on? I hear a bunch of yelling and everything, screaming. It was great. I applaud the Minnesota Twin fans out there. That's how you support your team and come out in the playoff time. So good job over there.
One last point for this
Go ahead.
game. An unbiased fan, I want Toronto to win for the good of the sport. You know, they've been building and they've failed to go over the hump. As a Red Sox fan, I want them to fail right now, fire sale this offseason.
Give me
That's what I'm
Vladdy.
hoping for. Wait and see what happens. Blow it up if they lose the wild card. But yes, that's my Sox fan.
Your probables for tomorrow are Sonny Gray for the Twins. He is 8-8 with a 2.79 ERA this season. That'll be up against Jose Barrios. He was 11-12 with a 3.65. So we'll see how that goes. Two pretty decent starting pitchers right there for tomorrow. So
yeah,
we'll have to see what happens for that one. We're going to go to the National League now. And for the National League, the first game up was the Dbacks and Milwaukee. And Milwaukee came out first, swinging. And they were like, oh, everybody was like, oh, okay, maybe Milwaukee's going to be okay here and get the win. Well, to our surprise, that did not happen. The Diamondbacks ended up winning this game, and it was something of an absolute surprise to me. I don't know about you, Brendan, but it ended up being the Diamondbacks 6 and the Milwaukee Brewers 3.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks, they have that high-flying offense as well. We were talking about that pitcher. He showed up and showed out. I don't think it's over. I think it's a 3-game series, but
Yeah.
But gee whiz, they're a good club down there in Arizona, and they might do some damage.
Mantiply got the win for the Diamondbacks. Again, it did not come down to how do you say that guy's name? Pavat? Pavat?
Yeah, it's
like
Pavat.
Pavat. Say that 10 times fast. It ended up being Burns with the loss on that one, and Seward got the save. So that was one of the bigger surprises of the day. And then we actually got one right, Brendan. We actually did. We actually had the Phillies. The Phillies ended up getting the win tonight. 4-1 was the score. The thing that I really like to see on that is, the Philly fans, they are one of the best fans bases around. I will say that. They're electric. They're excited. And, I mean, they have a very talented roster. And one of the things that stood out to me tonight was the hustle play from Bryce Harper scoring from first base. I don't know if you noticed, but he went through the stop sign and everything. It's like, screw that stop sign. I'm going in to score. And he was able to get the job done. So there's a guy that's a gamer, somebody that I would want on my team any day of the week.
Oh, yeah. They are talented. They were amazing last year. They have the talent to do it. Yep. All they had to do was get in the dance, and they have a GM that's not afraid.
They do.
So,
and the other interesting little tidbit here is Craig Kimbrell got the save for the Phillies tonight. Let that sink in for you folks. Let that sink in. Craig Kimbrell, old friend, got that save.
Dave knows his guys. What can I say? I think that series ends tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think it's 2-8. Miami was good enough to make the dance, but it really came down to the wire, and I think this is where it ends. It's tomorrow.
I'm going to be right with you on that one there. So again, they'll do a replay tomorrow and see what happens with all these games. Brendan and I will be with you again to recap the rest of the games from the wild card series. We may have some winners tomorrow of series, but we'll be back with you. We hope everybody has a great rest of your night. We'll see you later.